So, it is cunning in its power, persistent and draining. It saps our zest for life and eats away at our well-being. Toughness and strength seem to little avail against its power. Upon waking in the morning, many battle it tooth and nail. In the depths of night, we find ourselves wide awake. Errant thoughts come and go, and sleep stubbornly refuses to come. A sinking feeling holds us from within. The future seems like too much to take, and the past seems like a dream. Each day begins a new battle to hold on to hope, love, and joy. For many in our high-paced society, this is their daily struggle as they deal with the various forms and manifestations of mental health issues. Whether it be depression, anxiety, sleep problems, panic attacks. Can anyone relate?
Yeah.
Anxiety, sleep problems, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. My goodness, the mental health struggles are real in our lives. They are legitimate. They hurt. And we have to find an issue that can help us solve these problems, because they just eat away at us day in and day out. Now, I recall recently in the news, the head of the psychology department, psychology, at the University of Pennsylvania committed suicide on September 10th of this last month, leaping from the 17th floor of the building. He's the head of psychology. People who study the mind, mental health, how to heal from these issues. And he leapt from the 17th floor to his death. He was an expert in the area of mental health, and particularly his focus area was resilience. Just one day earlier, September 9th, 2019, Associate Pastor Jared Wilson committed suicide at the age of 30. He was a pastor at Harvest Christian Fellowship, a megachurch, a very successful pastor, and he was also a mental health advocate who co-founded the Anthem of Hope, a Christian mental health organization. Sometimes we may be tempted to think that we have all the answers based on our psychological knowledge or even our religious understanding, but often life circumstances defy our ability to understand the depths of pain and suffering of humanity. The pain and suffering of humanity. Depression, anxiety, self-harm. Has anyone struggled in here with self-harm? Has anyone struggled in here with anxiety, with depression, suicidal thoughts? These are everyday battles for people in this world, for people in the United States, and for people in Owasso, Michigan. How can we address these issues as a community? How can we help those who are struggling with mental health problems? What could be done to heal? First of all, if anyone here right now, if you are struggling, I want to tell you one thing. You are not alone. You're not alone. You are not alone. Others feel the same way. Others care about you, and you are not alone. And there is hope for a better future. Sometimes we lose hope. Sometimes we give up. Sometimes we think nothing can ever change in my life. Nothing can ever be good in my life. That is not true. There is hope. There is a future for you. Please don't give up. And keep seeking for healing, for hope, and for truth. Secondly, if you have ever struggled with mental health problems in the past, and you're in a better place now, recognize that you have a testimony. A story you can share with others to help bring them hope and healing. If you have healed from something, you can help others who are struggling with that problem. You are now able to help others who need you. And there are people who need you out there. And I hope you will help them. Thirdly, how can we find real expressions of community? Oftentimes we can so isolate ourselves that we become an island of one. Can anyone relate to this? Isolating themselves by themselves, just me. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody, just by myself. And does that ever make the situation better? Has it ever made it better once? I don't think so. I don't think so. We cannot isolate ourselves. A person alone is not a safe place for someone struggling with depression. We need others. Even when we just want to be alone, we have to find ways to connect with others. And join a group that does things together in the community. Join a church, or a religious fellowship, or a Bible study, or just an after-school group. A group that does things together. Because we need other people. We seem to think in our technologically advanced society that we don't need others anymore. We just can go on Facebook or go on Twitter or go on social media and we just can connect that way. But we need face-to-face interaction with people. And that's something we get here. That's why we gather together for dinner church. You know? We could all sit at home individually and listen to a sermon on YouTube, but we have to gather together. We have to be the church, which is a united church. Fourth of all, oftentimes when the pain in our minds becomes so strong, we look to self-medicate. We look to self-medicate. We're going through depression, we're going through anxiety, we're going through post-traumatic stress from things we've gone through. And when the pain gets to be so much, we eventually self-medicate. We look for something to kill the pain, make it go away. We throw up our hands and say, you know what? I know what'll take care of this. A little bit of this. Some drugs, some alcohol, some cigarettes, and other substances to numb away the pain. And this is just as much as of a drug. We go from relationship to relationship. Am I calling anyone's number right now? Relationship to relationship. One night stand to one night stand. Distracting ourselves from the problems we face. Or we self-harm. We cut our wrists because we're trying to let that pain out and we can't figure out how to get it out of ourselves, so we cut ourselves. Have you experienced this? Or even shopping sprees. You just go out, you shop. Pretty soon you're $10,000 in debt. And you're worried, well, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? So this approach simply brings more pain, and we just numb ourselves. Self-destruction is not the answer. It doesn't help us. Please seek a better road for healing. Fifthly, if need be, we should seek out a doctor or a therapist who can work with us to take medication or engage in therapy sessions to find healing. And do not be afraid to reach out to a pastor, a priest, someone you trust, to ask advice, to seek counsel. I'm available, you guys, all week. All you got to do is say, hey, I want to see the lieutenant for a minute. I got something going on. I got a struggle I need to share about. I'm hurting right now, and I want to talk to someone. Come see me. I will not turn you away. I can guarantee that. So oftentimes, many of our hurts, habits, and hang-ups go back to struggles we had in our past. If you haven't ever done so, consider writing out your story. Have you ever written out your story on paper? As honestly as possible, then share it with someone else and seek to understand and heal what you've gone through. Pray over the words you've written and ask God to heal you from within. Then take the pages you've written and burn them. Burn those pages. Burn those pages. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of those pages because your story is starting a new day. You are starting a new day, and it's time to move forward. So in conclusion, if you are struggling today, there is a road forward. And if you've been through the battle, you have an opportunity to help others. That's all I am right now. I'm a wounded healer. I've struggled with depression, anxiety, sleep problems, suicidal ideation. I'm a wounded healer. I've been through the battle, and I seek to help others who are going through the battle right now. So how can we as a community support those with mental health problems? How can we help those who are near the edge and thinking of ending it all? It's a bigger problem than we might realize. Ultimately, we have to find a way to do our part in helping others fight these battles if we can. There is still hope, even when lives are lost and people give up. There is always hope for a better future. And that is our Booth Talk for today.